All right, what is one of my Marvel Rivals fam? It's your boy Apxche, and today we're gonna be going over the season 3 patch notes. Not only so y'all can hear what it is, if y'all didn't hear about it already, but we can talk about some things, see what I think, and see what you think in the comments, right? So without further ado, let's get into it. So number one, Emma Frost. All right, so Emma Frost, she's getting a nerf. They're reducing telepathic pulse damage, um, as well as they are reducing diamond 4 damage. I can talk about the numbers. I don't really need to do that. But the reason they're doing this is because Emma just does too much damage. I think Emma is a great tank, great tank. But I think for how easy she is to play at times, doing that as much damage as she wasn't really fair. Especially because you can build it off of deployables, you can build it off of clones, you can build it off of shields, right? So it's like the fact that you can ramp up your damage by shooting things that don't even matter pre-fight is pretty crazy, right? So I think the damage reduction is cool, as well as they're reducing the energy it costs to build her ult, just to kind of like, since it's she's gonna be doing less damage, they kind of want to reduce how much her ult takes, so it kind of meets a little bit more in the middle, but she's not like, you know, getting hard to hit too hard. Now the thing got a buff, so now he got a new ability that allows him to leap forward towards enemies, while giving him 25% damage reduction, right? Um, as well as now his haymaker can knock down flying enemies. This is good for two reasons. Well, for many reasons, but so now he can actually dive at the flyers, knock them out of the air, which is really cool because it's gonna make fighting flyers a lot easier. But now it's just gonna be really great for just brawling the front line, just due to the fact that he's able to just kind of run at tanks now or run at people that are out of position at a quick leap, and now he can use his other his dash to get out instead of having to um dash in. He can jump in, and if he really needs to, he can jump in, dash out, right? So thing is gonna be his pressure is gonna definitely go up a lot. I could definitely see Thing in some kind of brawl comp, some kind of maybe like pseudo dive comps, just for the fact that they can call a target. He can initiate first, right? Thing can initiate, slam, right, so that they can't get away, and then the dive can follow up, right? So I definitely think Thing is gonna see some new interesting play. Um, so I definitely think he's better, but I'm not gonna sit here and say he's insane, right? But I think this ability here is really gonna be crazy, really gonna be crazy. Venom, Venom, his cellular, his little tendrils, his corrosion, now slow from 15 to 25%. I think this is really good. That ability is kind of meh. For the fact of it doesn't really do damage until the very end, so you have to be really smart with how you use it, whether you're using it with your ult or things like that. Me, I really like using this ability to really slow down people. There's a lot of times where like I know a tank wants to touch, I'll kind of get close to them, hit them with the tendrils, right, and then I'll kind of like prevent them from getting towards the objective, right? So this is not really like a big buff. This is nice. It's quality of life, but I don't think it's too insane. But you will feel it though. So if you're a tank and Venom's constantly hitting you with this, you're gonna feel it. Or if you're support trying to run away from him, you're gonna feel it, right? So I think it'll help him. It's not gonna really increase his damage because I feel like people will still break it. But I think it'll give you more opportunities to get shots off, things like that. But as well as it's really gonna help you punish tanks that are not playing optimally. Alrighty, so they are also nerfing Human Torch, right? So they are reducing the damage of his primary shots from 6 to 5.5. Not too big, but obviously per pellet, right? So it kind of adds up over time. That's 0.5 being removed from each pellet, and it's like 6. So think about that. They're reducing Supernova's activation shockwave damage. So when he starts off and explodes, they're reducing that, as well as they are reducing the damage over time from the tornadoes, which is cool. Just reducing his overall damage right now. People think he's busted. I think he's pretty good. But the reason I think he's pretty good is because of his team up, as well as his ability to survive. He has pretty good movement, as well as he can slam down whenever he wants, which makes it really hard to finish him. You get him low, he just slams down, right? So things like that. And another thing too, since he's losing all this damage, that he did have a team up that gives him 5%. So I feel like this kind of like counteracts this, but I guess it's cool because so now the damage kind of stays the same or almost the same. And then he also gets team ups, right? So yeah. But Human Torch, I mean, they probably could have touched him a little bit more. But hey, whatever. Iron Man. So they are powering down with reduced damage. So basically, they're making it harder for him to get his ultimate. And they are reducing the first two blast hits from 40 to 35, and for 50, 45 will in armor order. So they're basically just trying to reduce his damage. And it's fine. I think AoE, flyers, projectiles, like they don't deserve to do insane amount of damage. I think that since a lot of their damage will come from missing, I think if you're hitting direct shots, I think that's fine. Like I feel like one thing I would like to see them nerfing their AoE damage more so instead of their direct hit damage. Because I feel like if you're on a blaster and you're hitting direct hits, I think you deserve to have a good bit of damage. It's a skill shot. Yes, can you spam chokes? Can you hit people? Sure. But I really do think that if you're playing a projectile, you're hitting direct shots, you should be rewarded because most people aren't playing projectiles at that kind of level. All right, so Mr. Fantastic, they're reducing his inflated state bonus health from 400 to 350. That's a big change. 50 health is definitely important. I definitely do think the community's kind of like torn half and half on Mr. Fantastic. I think he's a really good character, and I think he has a lot more play potential than people think. But some people just don't agree with me, and that's okay. But I definitely think this is a healthy change. There's times where he just really feels annoying to kill, so removing 50 health is really cool. So hopefully that does pretty good. Hopefully it doesn't take him too far off, but I think this is a fine change. All right, so with Namor, they're basically buffing his primary fire and his all fire. So the first one, they're increasing his primary fire by damage by 5 and making it fly faster, making it easier to hit certain targets. I've definitely felt this in the patch. It's made it a little harder to hit shots in terms of like I'm so used to leading more that now it's like, oh, huh. So yeah, it's definitely something to adjust to if you're a Namor player, but it's good. It's a good change. Makes it easier to hit primaries. And then it's also increasing the speed of your right click as well, so that it's easier to hit that as well. So it's making him a little bit easier, which is kind of crazy seeing that he has abilities that kind of auto fire. But hey, man, I think it's just a good way to keep him competitive with the other backliners. All right, Scarlet Witch. So Scarlet Witch got a buff. Basically, her ult damage got increased, as well as it reduced the time for it to go off, I believe. And she's also faster, right? So she's basically making her ult a little bit more consistent. Is it a strong ult? But it's one of those ults that like you will get punished for bad positioning, or it's a great combo ult, right? So, in my opinion, buffing her ult, in my opinion, isn't the greatest, but I also think that her ult is in a position that it can get a little bit of love and be okay. So I think this is fine. If they keep buffing it though, I'm gonna definitely be like, because I don't think buffing characters that are already easy to play is a good idea. If they have a really, really low skill floor, I don't like making them too strong because then it just like it really like hurts the game in the long run. Spider-Man lost the team up, but gave him some new ones, so I'm pretty sure his anchor damage is still there. But basically, they're just increasing his damage overall, which I think is fine. Spider-Man's a really high skill sitting hero for the most part, and I think he deserves to be good, but it's just really hard to balance a character with as much mobility as him. So people are always going to complain. I think it's very valid. The fact that Spider-Man can kind of just solo, kind of like swing across the map and just pull somebody is definitely definitely an interesting mechanic. It makes you it's comparable to a lot of other games. Spider-Man basically like forces you to play the game in a weird way because Spider-Man can bypass a lot of the map that other characters can't, which makes you have to worry about him, which sucks, but it's in the game, so we got to deal with it. Like there's no way to really balance Spider-Man because there's just certain things that he can do that others can't, and especially at a certain speed. All right, so Punisher, his turret is losing some sting, and his ultimate is is going to need more juice. Okay, so they're reducing the damage from the turret, and they're decreasing, overall reducing the damage of the turret, which I think is cool. Turret's kind of like weird, because you can kind of just shoot the floor and hit people. I think it's fine. Increased energy, and then making it harder for him to get his ult. I think this is fine, especially with all the buffs to his damage. I don't think you need to like keep him at a high state. And the same thing with Spider-Man, not Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch is Punisher's a character that's so easy to start to learn that I don't think making him too strong is good for the game. I think he's a character kind of like Rocket, where when they're good enough, it's fine. The second you start getting into like, okay, they're starting to be like great characters, that's when you start to realize like, hey, this game's going in the wrong direction. Certain characters are made to be easy, simple, and allow people to kind of transition into the game, right, and learn different roles. But I think once you start making those characters too strong, it starts making the game unfun because no one wants to play against a character that's just super easy to play. You know, like you want to experience skill expression. You don't want to experience a guy just sitting behind a shield with the machine gun just mowing you down. Like it's like, okay, cool, like he's just pointing and clicking. But like when you got somebody like Spider-Man who's like swinging around and he has to do combos and things like that, or like magic, which magic's a little simpler, but same premise. Like if you miss one of the abilities, they kind of just live. right? So it's like people like skill expression, and I think that's a good thing. Bucky's getting a little more dangerous from downtown. Um, so they're basically they're adjusting his fall off. So basically, he's gonna do more damage at range, which is good. Bucky is a character where he's strong, and I also think Bucky's like one of those check characters. I think Bucky does need a nerf, and I think the nerf with Bucky is just his hook. I think his hook should not pull more than one person. I come from a game. I played multiple games that have hook mechanics, and none of them hook more than one person. Now that can be a bad thing for Bucky. He can hook too many people, but most of the time you're not hooking too many. You're hooking an abundance of people, and they're getting punished for it. There's been times where I played group, and I'm not even the one getting hooked. Somebody else gets hooked, and it just latches onto me, and now I'm pulled into the enemy backline. The other person can get away, but I can't. Right? So it's really really rough, really sucky when I'm getting pulled, or when other players are getting pulled. For not making that mistake. Like my positioning's fine, but the guy that's a little to my left is getting hooked, and now I'm getting dragged around my wall. It's interesting, right? So I think Bucky, if he's gonna ever get a nerf, remove the fact that he can hook multiple people, and I'm cool. I think that he's in a good spot. Wolverine's getting a increase parallel leap duration from 4 to 5 seconds, and they're increasing the cooldown. So basically, he can last a little bit longer. But it's gonna have a longer cooldown. Wolverine's definitely strong right now, especially with his team up with Phoenix. So buffing him, which I don't really think this is a buff. I think it kind of is, but not really. But buffing him is always a weird thing. But I also think he's a necessary check character, so it is what it is, right? He has to exist. Invisible Wind, right? They want to make Sue's healing a little bit more reliable, so they're increasing the orb projected healing on launch. And the damage on launch, but they're reducing it on return. So basically, you're going to do more healing and damage on your primaries going out, but as they come back, they're going to do a little bit less. So kind of just giving you that more upfront burst instead of relying on having to hit them both. You can just like that main heal is going to be your little bread and butter, and if you hit that retrieval, that's cool too, right? So yeah, nice little tweak. Loki, they're increasing the time it takes to build his ult. That's fine. He builds it super fast anyways, so I think it's okay that they're making him have to earn it a little bit. Mantis, healing touch grows, and her ultimate is more potent. So healing flower, new effect, heals allies by 2.5. So it's healing percentage base, I believe. It's gonna make it feel better for tanks. It's still gonna feel better for DPS, but it's gonna feel a lot better for tanks because you're just healing a bigger percentage of their health. But they're reducing the base healing from 20 seconds to I think this is bad. I feel like you didn't need to tweak the base healing too much. Going from 20 to 12 is a big jump. But I mean, I'll trust them and believe that they tested it. But I think maybe instead of 12, maybe like 15, like something like that. That's a big decrease. Like you're giving her a nice sort of upfront thing. But I don't know, man. I just really feel like he needs it because right now she's kind of stuck with Adam. Increased energy so it takes longer to get her ult too. But you also get a little bit more bonus. I don't know, man. I think Mantis is like in a weird spot. Like Mantis is a character I believe is another character where like when she's good, and when she's not, it's like she's not, right? Like Mantis, she has a mechanic where she can damage amp her teammates, which is as a support, which is actually really insane. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that, respect that enough. But then again, I can't remember the exact numbers for her damage amp. So if it doesn't change any breakpoints, it's also like it's insane, but it's like meh, right? It would be just better for just certain heroes. But I definitely think I feel like Mantis could definitely get more play. But Mantis is a character that requires you to have a high mechanical skill ceiling, and she sucks into things like double shield. Why? Because she can't get resets, right? So Mantis is heavily reliant on resets. So if you can't get resets, she just feels even worse. Like it's already hard enough to play her because you need the resets. So when you play into things that don't give you resets, it just makes it a nightmare. So yeah, Ultron going to have update his software as his defense are taking a slight hit. So they are reducing dynamic flight acceleration from 8 seconds to 6, and they're reducing his imperative wall shielding, right? So that means he shields, instead of getting 75, he'll get 65, and instead of allies getting 55, they get 50. So they're just making him a little less survivable, just in general. Which I think is fine. People really think Ultron's really bad. I disagree. I think Ultron's pretty good. You gotta know how to play Ultron. A lot of people don't understand how to play Ultron. They play him wrong. They get blown up. They're not healing enough. And then they're like, oh, well, my Ultron sucks. It's like, maybe it's because, one, you're not trying to play him with the team up, which makes him a lot better. But also, you just don't understand how to play the Ultron, and you don't understand how to play around the Ultron, right? Remember, guys, Ultron has no cooldown on his heal. It's an AoE heal. But the more people that are in it, the more they get healed. So either you're going to have Ultron as a dedicated, just going to sit on a DPS, a flyer, or a tank, so that they can play super aggressive, or he's going to throw the ability on a tank, and you have to play near that tank so that you can abuse the fact that you can make him instantly charge his ult, in a sense, because everybody's just getting healed. It's kind of like a pass cycle that never goes away. It's like, but people don't take advantage of that. So people think Ultron's bad because people don't understand how to play around Ultron yet. I don't think they ever will. Like, I think Ultron's a hard character to play around, especially in a ranked environment. So, with that being said, these are my thoughts, and these are the things that are coming in Season 3, or have already came for some of you. And, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my little breakdown, my little talk about it. And if you guys have any suggestions or have any, actually, maybe I said something wrong, don't be afraid to let me know in the comments. And also, just let me know, how do you feel about this overall balance patch? I think it's okay, but I also think that they touch things that didn't need to be touched. But they kind of do that a lot, right? That's just kind of how balance is. Sometimes you're like, wow, they touching this. So I definitely would like to see certain characters get a little bit more love, and some definitely get a little less. But we'll see that in the coming patches if they end up moving down that direction. And I'll keep saying this until they do it, but please remove Doctor Strange's passive. He should not get punished for doing damage. It's really weird. I understand that they're trying to create opportunities for where you can actually blow him up because his shield's really strong. But I just really hate the fact that I'm encouraged to not do a lot of damage, because then I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna to do damage. I gotta take damage, and then I gotta expel my energy, because if I don't, I'll get anti-healed and I'll just die. Right? So it's just. And when you expel damage, guess what? You take more damage, right? So it's it's really weird. It makes you have to really rely on your team to be paying attention to you. And I just wish it just wasn't there. You could reduce his damage and take that away, and I'd be okay with it. I think it's a dumb mechanic. Other characters aren't getting punished for playing the game. So yeah. Without further ado, chat, it's your boy Apxche. I'm gonna head out. Like I said, hopefully you guys learn a thing or two. And yeah. Peace, and I will see you in the next one.